Welcome everyone to another Conversations in a Void. I am Graver, joined by, as always, with my off-screen producer Salem. Make sure to say hi to Salem in the chat. And we have an exciting show tonight. We have a new group that was recently formed. I'd say probably a day or two after Christmas, and I am proud to be part of. I like to introduce everyone to Horror Ravin.
Hola.
What's going on?
Yo.
Hey. So for anyone who doesn't seen our podcast that we did a couple weeks ago, it is on the Horror Ravin podcast. We do a little introduction about ourselves and who we are and what we do. But let's get into that a little bit on this show as well. So I have, as Hunter probably recalls, or maybe not recall, some quick icebreaker questions I typically do for any guest that we have on here. So let's just round robin here. What horror movie do you recall brought you into the love of horror? We'll start with over here with Tommy and Luke.
Here?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Jurassic Park, I would call a horror movie. I call it a creature feature.
Mm-hmm.
And that's definitely the one I've watched since probably since I was 7. So,
hell yeah.
It's definitely the one that's terrified me my whole life.
What about you?
I'd probably have to say mine is Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Fucking lit. I love that movie.
Oh yeah, that movie is superb. Absolutely superb.
Practical effects in that movie are over the top.
Yeah. And what a lot of people don't seem to realize is the clowns were later reused for Ernest Scared Stupid as the trolls.
Perfect.
So yeah. And we are getting a TV show supposedly this year for Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
No way.
Yeah.
Dude, that would be awesome.
So yeah, I'm excited for that.
And there's that video game coming out too.
Yes, and we hopefully will be playing that on the Horror Ravin podcast and do a live gaming event
100%
as well. So
I don't play games.
Yeah, I know you don't, Hunter. What about you, Hunter? What movie brought you into the horror world?
The Exorcist.
The Exorcist. Mm-hmm. I know you're just saying that.
You're talking about the remake, right?
Exorcist. I don't remember what I said the last time I was on this podcast. I really don't, but that was definitely one of the movies.
Yeah. Oh, Mezzo's in the chat. Hey, Mezzo.
What up, Mezzo? Biggest fan right there, yo.
And we have to hear from Miles Teller's new best friend.
Yeah, nobody here would understand. Bro. No one here would understand that reference, but thank you. I appreciate the clout.
The clout.
Yeah. I would say I had to think about this for a little bit, but I saw Children of the Corn when I was 10 or 11 or 12, and the introduction to that movie is a bunch of kids just slaughtering a bunch of adults in a diner, and I didn't sleep for I think literally about 48 hours after I saw that. It was the most terrifying thing I've ever seen, and that was beginning of a descent into watching some of the most crazy and gory and horrifying horror movies ever. Horrifying horror movies. But yeah, so that was I'd say the first one, but that or Insidious. Insidious was also there when I was like 13.
Oh yeah, and I'd say shout out to Laurel from the Discord server. How's it going? Yeah, I mean, Children of the Corn is absolutely terrifying because it's Iowa or Nebraska, right? And that's just terrifying states.
Yeah.
Hi, Laurel.
No.
Well,
go on.
Oh, I was just gonna say the idea of children killing adults was so foreign to me as a kid, and like I was scared of kids walking around. I was like, oh, I don't want them to kill my parents, which is like that's why kids shouldn't watch horror movies. But yeah, no, I was just kind of expanding on why that one killed me.
The older you get, the more you realize kids are terrifying.
Oh yes, absolutely. Outlander, we have your woman. I think it's an epic movie. I know we kind of touched base on this before, and we'll talk more as we do more of our podcast with Horror Ravin. But we'll start with Hunter. What do you think is the most underrated horror IP that exists out there?
Devil 2010.
Devil 2010.
I love that movie, man. I love it. IP? Oh man, I don't know. Underrated.
Mm-hmm.
I think I said Paranormal Activity last time, didn't I?
You did. Yeah.
Yeah, so definitely I think Paranormal Activity is extremely underrated. I get why people hate it, but at the same time, I mean, the story behind the guy that made the first movie, I told the same exact thing already, is just amazing. Oren Peli seems like he'd be a great guy, so yeah, that's it for me.
Yeah. I like to show out to Laurel. She's talking about the scariest movie in 2019 being Cats
musical.
Yes, that's terrifying.
One of my friends that's an IMDb critic literally posted, "Congratulations to dogs."
Nice. So how about you, Jimmy? What do you think is the most underrated horror IP that doesn't get enough love?
I wish I had some more time to think about it, but since it's on my mind, and because almost no one I know has seen it, I would say Bone Tomahawk, just because of that scene. For anyone who's seen the movie, that scene, when you watch it, it changes you forever. And what's that?
Was it that bad though?
Yes, dude. I don't know what you've seen, but when I first saw that, my jaw dropped. And I usually try to show movies I really love to my parents. I'm not gonna show my parents that one. It's like
you watched that one recently.
Who did? Me and you, Luke?
Yeah, you made me watch that like 2 months ago or something.
Yeah, but do you think that scene was that bad?
I mean, it was pretty messed up, but like, I mean, I've seen enough horror movies that kind of just brush it off, I guess. Still pretty disgusting.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, it's a fantastic Western the first 80%. Then it just dives.
Yeah. Well, and it doesn't overdo anything. And everything that happens feels very natural, which makes the impending doom that descends on this party of guys that much scarier, because there's a point where they're trying to go in or trying to escape, and it's like, you're not going to get out. Like, there's no way you're going to get out, and then they don't get out. It's like, I could watch that movie every day. It's so good. And it's still so terrifying to me. But yeah, I'd say Bone Tomahawk.
Yeah, fun fact is I didn't watch it the very first time until the recording of the podcast I do with Salem this week.
Oh, wow, man.
I had not watched it. I don't know why. It is an amazing movie. I completely agree. We gave it 9 out of 10. Like,
that director, the director S. Craig Zahler, who made that, he made 2 other movies, Brawl in Cell Block 99 and Dragged Across Concrete. I'd say he's my favorite director. They're all 3 of them.
Fantastic.
Yes, he's I can't think of a director who's made movies as consistently unique and organic and just fantastic as Craig Zahler. So shout out to him. Maybe we could get him on.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
Well, what about you, Tommy and Luke? What do you guys think? Most underrated?
I don't know how underrated this is, but I know that like it definitely took me a long time to discover it. Return of the Living Dead.
That's a great one.
Everyone knows the George Romero side of the zombie movies, but this was like the guy who worked with him on Night of the Living Dead. They kind of split. And then this guy went on to make Return of the Living Dead, which honestly I think is better than 90% of what George Romero did.
It's a lot more funny anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I agree with that. I think we think of the slow moving zombies, but we got the zombies eating brains from Return of the Living Dead, because that didn't happen. They weren't going after brains. So pop culturally, yeah, we kind of merged those two in a way. What about you there, Luke?
Well, I don't know. I was kind of racking my brain trying to think of one, but honestly, Killer Clowns from Outer Space, dude. Whenever I tell people I love that movie, they always make fun of me, but like, it's honestly a diamond in the rough. I think it's.
Oh yeah, and you get Christopher Titus in his first non-speaking role. So on the flip side, what is the most overrated horror in your opinion that just is blown out of proportion for being the best there is, and you don't really get it?
Hereditary.
Oh,
really?
Wow. Go ahead.
I don't know. I like Hereditary. I think that's great.
Yeah.
It's okay, but like people talk about it like it's the greatest freaking like elevated horror movie ever.
Right.
And Tony Collette's great, but
yeah.
I mean, yeah. I don't know.
All right, Luke, I don't think your answer can be Killer Clowns for a third time in this one.
No, I was going to say Saw. I've never really been a huge fan of them, but it feels like they're coming out like all the time, and everyone's like, "Oh, dude, are you gonna go see the new song?"
Yeah, they're on like 10 now, I think.
I think it's 11. Actually,
They're making number 11. Yeah,
okay.
that's coming out this year.
Nice.
What about you, Mr. Hunter?
I honestly, I don't have an answer. I can't give my answer. I know too many people that work in the indie community. So.
Well, don't talk about an indie one.
No comment, man. I have no comments.
You have no
He
comments.
doesn't want to burn any bridges.
What did I say last time?
I thought I think because Mike and Dylan were on, you said Tahoe Joe.
I did not say Tahoe Joe.
I think just to get their go.
I probably did, but I've got no comment. I seriously can't answer that question. I've
No
got
worries.
an answer, but I can't give it.
Oh, what about you, Jimmy?
I feel like kind of a dick for saying it because I said how much I loved Insidious and the first Conjuring, but the last like 4 movies that James Wan have made, I just have not been. They have not been scary or original at all to me. So I'd say like the second half of James Wan's career, it's kind of just not. I mean, talk about burning bridges. I just dissed like probably the biggest horror director right now. But it's just it's like you kind of get high on your own supply and you get too comfortable making the same thing that you know is going to make $250 million every time. And I don't know. I'm sure he has good intentions, but the last Conjuring I watched, I was like, nothing scared me. Nothing was shocking. I knew everything that was going to happen. I don't know, but
Yeah.
but the first Insidious and the first Conjuring I thought were fantastic movies.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, fun fact: James Wan got these movies rated R for scary.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. It wasn't The Conjuring was like the first horror movie that got a actual R rating specifically for. I don't know. I don't know what wording they used, but yeah, I would say it was like basically too scary for PG-13.
Mhm.
That's funny.
Yeah, I think the story is that he walked into the studio. It's like, I think this will sell better if you say it's an R-rated movie with no language, no gore, arguably really no deaths that happen on screen for the most part.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. So those are the icebreaker questions. So let's kind of get into the idea of Horror Ravin that we are doing here. Like I said, I know we discussed this briefly. Let's just get this audience here just kind of a glimpse of what Horror Ravin is and what exciting things that you want to see happen that we have without spoiling anything for this upcoming year. I know, Hunter, you have lots to say. Why don't you go first?
Always feel put on the spot, man. Now, Horror Ravin is just an idea that I had as almost as a low key production company, just to have fun and almost not take itself too seriously. Not saying purposely do anything bad, but just there's no deadlines, there's no limitations. It's just get together and think of anything. We're not limited to just movies. It could be movie reviews or gameplay or actually making short films or I guess feature films. It doesn't matter. Whatever falls under the horror category is what Horror Ravin stands about. A community where people can go that are beginners to horror or experts and enjoy something with it. It's simple. Simple is sometimes better because obviously I work for Horror Dads Productions too, and we focus a lot on churning out feature films all the time, which is great. And nothing bad to say about that at all. But sometimes I just don't want to be bogged down with having to do anything. And Horror Ravin gives me a chance to do nothing.
Right. Yeah, I mean, what we're working on, for anyone who hasn't checked out, make sure to check out the Horror Ravin Facebook page where we have, 2 episodes or 2 cuts of the Backwards, the first short film exclusively under Horror Ravin. And, and there are works in behind the scenes on stuff dealing with that idea. I'm not going to get into. But I mean, what do you see us doing in 2024? Like, let's say a stretch goal.
Is that a question for me? Can you repeat it? I'm sorry.
I mean, what do you want to see come out in 2024? Like, we want to do like enough shorts to do like an anthology type movie and we just kind of combine it? or just see kind of go with the flow because it's an easy peasy, breezy thing?
I think that Luke, Tommy, and I came up with an idea of something that we want to accomplish, whether that be in 2024 or not. At least hash that idea out more to get it to a tangible product that we could either turn out this year or next year, whenever we decide to pull the trigger on it. So just really to see personal growth within, just Horror Ravin in general as a fun, relaxing thing that we just do as friends whenever we can. That's really it. I mean, there's no expectations here.
Right.
We do things on our terms.
Right.
For
And
fun.
I know we're also kind of working on, a show that we want to film and research and all that stuff in the summer too. So lots on our plate, especially with other projects that we have, other commitments, and Hunter going to be a dad again relatively soon.
Yeah, April. So yeah, so like I said, always make sure to check out and follow us on everything. We have all the links in the description below. But what about you, Tommy and Luke? What are your kind of thoughts on how Horror Ravin is going so far in 2024 and what you want to see by the end?
We're kind of always just like writing new sketches that we want to make, and which ones actually end up getting done, it kind of comes down to what's possible and what we're motivated for at the time, But yeah, we're kind of always just writing new stuff. So hopefully we can actually get some of those out in 2024. And
thank you, Laurel.
Yeah. Well, now we have a catalyst to actually put these on instead of just YouTube.
Right. And like you mentioned, we have a bigger project that we kind of want to. Well, we just want to get as much done as we can on that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm excited. I love seeing the process that we're going through with this and the ideas that are growing with this as well, and kind of the mythos that behind the scenes we are working and tinkering on with some of voice modulation. I said not without getting into too much, all that stuff. So I'm excited just because it's going to be, I think, an amazing thing to do. And then also, as you guys said, working on shorts and stuff like that too. As you guys know, I've written some as well that I'd love to. I just have to go up there for a weekend, and we got to film some of this shit, man.
Get up here, man. You got
a bunch of them at once.
For real.
Yeah, so for sure. What about you, Jimmy?
My answers aren't. It's not gonna be nearly as deep as these guys. I like acting. I used to act a lot, and I haven't acted in a while, and I know that Hunter did it, so I was like, hey man, like, let me know if you're ever doing anything. And they told me about Horror Ravin. I was like, yeah, I'm in. Let's do it. So I've been trying to brush up on my acting and like narrative skills and speaking skills and trying to muscle up, if you can't tell, trying to be like that leading man quality. But
was that
yeah, I don't know.
Cut off shirts, bro, and trying to flex your muscles every time you take a drink of that?
No, because I haven't showered yet. I got back from the gym like an hour ago, and I was texting you guys the whole time. But
he's single, ladies.
He hangs up on the teller. You know what? I'm that connection. No, that's my I want to connect you guys to Miles Teller, and all the other famous people I've brushed shoulders with. But yeah, man.
Jimmy's a masseuse, low key.
There you go.
Okay.
There you go. Like I said, I think our attainable goal would be to as we do more of our podcasts, more of our shorts, and even read short stories that then evolve, and we see naturally progression of where they go. Obviously, with some things that we're working on, that it was started off as a short, and now it's kind of growing. We see the potential with that IP right there as it is, and it'd be interesting to see how other shorts we work with as a collaborative group can grow and expand and become maybe more than a 5-minute short, maybe a 45-minute thing, or even an episode for, say, our good friends, Midnight Features, right?
I think we should set the record for the longest short film ever made and make it like 1,000 minutes long.
There you go.
Yeah, dude.
Well, what you do is, the new thing is that you have a movie and you say, oh, that was the cut. Wait for the director's cut. And it's just everything else. We make a 5-hour movie, we cut it down to 2 hours, and then we go, but wait, there's director's cut.
But wait,
Want to see the director's cut? You got to like and subscribe.
Exactly.
Smash that like button.
Oh, you want to see the chrome and steel version? You gotta wait for that too.
Collector's edition. Shopping soon.
Hell yeah.
You know, and I'm hoping with, you know, obviously Metzo was in the chat, she helped me create kind of the new streaming template for our reviews that we want to do, right? So we're kind of looking at old school horror movies and then new movies as well, and just kind of seeing how those go. We're, you know, creating the Raven system where we're going to rate it out of 5 Ravens, and some things can be certifiedly Raven, you know, have a nice seal of approval for it. So what movies do you guys kind of have on your dockets that you want to review? As anything exciting coming out in 2024 that you're excited to kind of like do as a podcast or as a short review?
Can we do oldies too? Because I really want to do Devil 2010.
Yeah. What about you, Tommy? Luke, why don't we start with you guys?
There's actually a movie I was meaning to watch recently. It's not a new movie necessarily. I think it came out like a year or so ago. It's called Mad God. It's made by Phil Tippett. Did a lot of the special effects for the original Star Wars and a bunch of other Lucasfilm stuff. But it looks really interesting. I think that might be the next one I do.
Did you mention the Backrooms? Is that coming out in 2024?
Yeah, I don't know, but
well, whenever that comes out, I'm super interested how they're going to turn that into a movie.
Yeah,
I feel like that's something that would be right up Jordan Peele's alley, but I don't know who's attached to it or whatever.
Have you guys seen the Backrooms?
Yeah. I think that the director of that is the main kid on YouTube, and I say kid because he's literally like 16 years old. The main guy that made all of those videos and animated them. I think that A24 got him to direct the movie.
Okay.
So I think we might be watching the work of like a 17-year-old director, which would be awesome. Yeah,
it could be really good.
Yeah, I think it will be.
What about you, Jimmy? What do you want to review, and what 2024 movies are you looking forward to?
I don't know any horror movies that are coming out this year. That's something I should brush up on, but I could think of a ton. I mean,
I heard Jimmy was a fan of Night Swim.
I did hey, you know what? I give everything a chance, and I did enjoy it. It was okay. It was a good, decent popcorn movie. I'm not gonna say it was revolutionary, but I like Kurt Russell's son, and there was a few scenes where I was like, oh, that's pretty well. So,
You gotta love Kurt Russell, man.
If you want to review Night Swim, we could. But
we're going to.
It was a good movie.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That's coming soon from Horror Ravin, the Night Swim review.
Yeah.
So
Night Swim.
One that really got me was Smile. That was unsettling. I had trouble sleeping for a while after that.
Well, Smile 2 is coming out this year.
Well, there we go. See, I knew it. I was testing you.
Yeah.
And
Ironically enough, the VFX guy from Smile is scheduling to come on this show.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
wow.
he's currently doing the VFX for the Super Bowl. So
that's quite the transition.
Yeah.
See what I did there? Transition.
Oh yeah. So I mean, Smile I think needs to be kind of a Horror Ravin, exclusive. See if it's Raven Fresh, because his first Smile was amazing.
Yeah. We'll make a competing franchise to go up against it called Frown.
I don't know if you read the comments or not, but they said Smile 2.
Frown. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see that. Okay.
Oh, then no, what you do Frown, and then you have the crossover. So you have, Smile versus Frown, and it's called Smile. Turn that frown upside down.
I don't get it. Okay. No, I'm just kidding.
What about you, Hunter? I mean, is there anything in 2024 you're looking forward to?
In 2024, gosh, I just watched like a bunch of horror movies that were coming out this year too. I really don't know. I'm sorry, by the way, audience. I am so tired right now. I have no idea why. I'm struggling to stay awake. Not because of the podcast, just in general. Maybe that's why my brain's not functioning. Gosh, I literally just watched an entire video about movies coming out this year, but I
Let's
couldn't
just
tell
cut the
you.
last 5 minutes and watch Hunter sleep.
Yeah. So clearly your answer is Lisa Frankenstein.
Oh yeah, Madam Web. There we go. I'm just kidding.
Raven the Hunter. Yeah.
I really don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
what's coming out this year? I'm drawing a blank.
A new Quiet Place, Abigail, the Dracula's daughter, a new Saw, a new Insidious, a new Conjuring.
Another Insidious.
There's a movie called Imaginary coming out. And it's about
I was just asked. I'm being roasted by the chat right now. How many e-signatures did I have to sign today? You gotta be kidding me. It was one time, okay?
Is it the comments?
Yeah, it's the comments. Yeah. So if anyone wants to see this inside joke,
I haven't seen the chat this whole time.
Hunter was kind of goaded into coming to the found footage Discord server just because he likes to go Pablo Picasso, just to throw paint at e-signatures.
One of the last signatures for a movie I signed with the paint tool because I couldn't figure out how to sign the PDF. They literally laughed at me so hard and I got made fun of, and now chat's roasting me because that was leaked. So thanks, guys. Love you all. Finish the heart there. However you do that. I don't even know.
There you go.
I wish I knew. Okay, if there's another Insidious movie, sure, let's do that.
Mm-hmm.
I like Insidious. I didn't like The Red Door, though, but I like Insidious.
Yeah, it's going to be called Threads.
Threads.
I think it's coming out July-ish. I said, I know this stuff just because I plan out like a year's worth of podcasts. It seems like at a time based on what movies come out. And take that knowledge that I do and then apply it to what we do in Horror Ravin as well for our reviews and stuff like that, too. So I'm excited. Well, we're in the wrap-up questions already. I know Hunter needs to go to bed. He has a menage a trois waiting for him.
I have
his
no
bed
idea.
in his head.
I'm sorry. Guys. I'm just so tired. I don't know why.
It's a simple question. We'll go around robin. What's better, practical effects or CGI?
Are you starting with me?
Yeah, start with you.
Definitely see practical.
See practical.
Definitely practical.
Yeah. Jimmy?
Practical, hands down, every single time. It just needs to be done right. But you can always tell CGI. It's that uncanny valley where it doesn't move, like blood just doesn't move right coming out of someone, or like the exploding head is like, that just doesn't look right. So no, practical every time.
You want real sharks in Sharknado.
Yes, I do. And I want the actors really getting killed.
I want real zombies in Zombie Tsunami. That's all.
Yeah. We got to work on that.
Exactly. Oh, but you, Tommy and Luke.
I'm going to take a more nuanced approach. I think I'm going to take it back to Jurassic Park, in fact. The practicals, of course, are incredible, but like what they managed to do with CGI in that film, like you couldn't have done it otherwise. You couldn't have shown a full-size Brachiosaurus in practical, but they did it right. They put the care into it, and it looked fantastic. So I think they're both important.
Hell yeah.
What about you, Luke?
Practical for me, for sure. There's no other way, really.
Oh yeah, and to kind of everyone's point, I also agree that practical is obviously better, but you also see stuff like with Vecna and Stranger Things season 4 that it was practical but with some CG over it. So I think we are leaning more towards that way of doing it instead of the uncanny valley where we have a fantastic looking Samuel L. Jackson de-aged, in Captain Marvel, but then Clark Gregg looks awful in the same movie. So I think it's a good combination. I think we're seeing more lean to some practical effects just to have that template to make the CGI look better overall instead of just having this blank space there and then filling in the creature. Let's say.
Right.
So if you can work in any IP or franchise, what would it be?
Work on?
Yeah.
That's an interesting one.
Killer Clowns from Outer Space 2.
Ooh.
If Jordan
Maybe the
Peele
TV
called me
show,
up and wanted me to do anything on any of his movies, I'd be there.
All right, I agree with Tommy with that, though.
What time you say? I'm sorry, say it again.
Jordan Peele.
I said
You
Jordan
are-
Peele didn't do anything. I'm there.
What about you, Hunter?
I last time I said Predator, still the same answer, Predator or Alien, but also can I add Final Destination on that? Because
Yeah.
I would love to work on a Final Destination IP.
I mean, there's a new one coming out this year.
Exactly, but they never called me to cast me, so
Oh, well, I'm sorry. We'll make that happen. We'll make a new one called The Finalist Destination.
the finalist,
Final one.
the Destination's
The
finale.
Yeah. What about you, Jimmy?
I mean, not to like reiterate too much, but anything S. Zoller makes, I would be in. Like, I would do any role he wanted. Just to be in one of his movies would be such an honor, and I'd love that. Or Warhammer, the new Warhammer show or movie that's coming out. That'd be cool too.
Oh.
Hell yeah.
What about
Yeah.
the sequel to Project X with your best friend?
I would
Oh,
do that. I'll text him. We'll see if we can get it going.
Get him on the one.
I'll text them.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, it's time for the random trivia card. So, Jimmy, you're up first.
All right.
Oh no.
All right. What is the cursed object in the 2009 movie Drag Me to Hell?
It's a button.
Yes.
I got
I
it.
love that movie. That is one of the best endings to any movie I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
then
yeah.
when the zoom in when she sees that he's got the button and she buried the quarter and it's just it's like right on her face. It's so good, man.
Oh, yeah. Classic
Just
Sam
don't
Raimi
survive
camera.
Somehow.
All right, Hunter. What 2014 horror comedy is about beavers becoming zombies?
Zombievers, man.
Yeah.
There's a modern classic.
Zombievers, best zombie movie ever made.
Oh, yeah. All right. So I'll bring it up to what does the photographer find lurking in the sewers in the 1984 movie Chud?
That's all.
Okay, wait. What was that one more time?
What does the photographer find lurking in the sewers in the movie Chud?
Oh,
Essentially, what's Chud stand for?
it's the Chuds, right? It's cannibalistic humanoid underground dwellers.
Correct.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah.
I love
I
that.
have no idea.
Jimmy's like, woo.
I've never even heard of that movie before.
I'm
It's
glad
the sequel,
you-
Bud the Chud. It's
It's
fantastic.
hilarious.
Does Tommy
Goodman-
have his own question?
Yeah, Tommy has his own question. All right. Teenage Charlie Brewster thinks his new next door neighbor is a vampire in this 1985 film that was later remade in 2011.
My heart.
Frightening.
Yes.
Hell
I
yeah.
actually kind of like the remake better. I think they did I forget his name, but the side character better. The
Oh, Ed.
yeah.
Evil Ed.
Evil
Yeah.
Ed. Yeah.
Makes me want to
McLovin.
watch Fright Night now.
McLovin. Yes. All right. So, end of the show. Give us your pluggables. Where can people find you, Luke and Tommy?
Horror Ravin, basically. I don't
Yeah.
do much off of that, so anything I do is probably going to be on there.
All right, Jimmy.
Yeah, Horror Ravin, same thing. I don't have my own channel or anything, but if you want to follow me on any social media, it's just my name. There's no other Jimmy Segrist on earth, so
The one and only.
There you
yeah,
go.
the one and only.
Hunter.
Follow my name on Facebook. Add me as a friend on Instagram, Nino _. Horror Ravin, Horror Dads Productions. Follow it all, man. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, X.
Yes. Well, thank you very much. And I am Graveyard as always. You can see our tags here at Pod Out at Night, which is what you're watching currently. You can follow all things we do with the podcast there, and follow Horror Ravin and at Horror-Raven, and all the links in the descriptions below.
Hold on.
And-
I got a question for you, Matt, because you can't just ask us horror trivia questions and end this stream without you answering them. What
All right.
in the movie World War Z, what was the deciding factor as to whether or not the infected would or would not attack you?
If you were sick or not.
With?
What?
With?
He injected himself with like 15 vials.
You just had to be sick to the point you were dying, that's all.
Terminal illness.
I think
Yeah.
he picked typhoid. Was what he
Yeah.
said.
I got a question for you too.
Yes.
We're
What are
running
the
over.
three words that Ash Williams has to
Off to
say
Rock
in
the
Army
Nuke.
of Darkness?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, you know it.
You didn't have to say Army of Darkness. I knew immediately what you were going to say.
Okay.
that would have been hilarious.
One last question. What
Yes.
was the only thing not voted on in the board in Cabin in the Woods?
The only thing not voted for on the board.
Oh, that's a good one.
Everything
know.
was voted for except for one supernatural entity.
Oh wait, I think I know.
I know he wanted to always see a mermaid.
You always
Yes.
wanted to see the mermaid, but there's one thing that wasn't voted for on the board by any department.
I don't know.
Wow.
That's a deep
I've not looked at the board in a very long time. What was it?
I'll leave you in suspense, man.
Oh come on. No, that's a trick question because there was like hundreds of monsters in there, and there was only so many divisions. And I feel like there's a lot of monsters that didn't get voted for.
Good night, audience. Love you guys.
Oh. All right. So thank you once again. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. And to make sure not get lost in the void. Good night.